Trump got shot.
Yes, Trump got shot.
Kamala Harris becomes president running now. Joe Biden steps down.
Yes.
And
what's happening at the Olympics? What's going on?
It's just a hodgepodge of
Yes.
so many different things happening.
Yes.
And I think we should talk about it.
I think we should.
If there's no risk of death, then why do it anyway?
Takes all the fun out of it.
Totally. So I was like, I will never do this ever again in my entire life.
Yeah.
And then before I knew it,
flag in
with
the back,
flag in the back,
pumping
with
his fist.
pen.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Remember what I saw? What I told you the minute I saw that? I was like, this man just went down in history as a revolutionary of the 21st century.
he does not miss a moment.
Oh my goodness. A lot of Christians that got so outraged with this.
Yeah.
And yet, they are the same Christians that never really go out to evangelize or share the gospel with people. And I was about to, when I first saw the post, I was about to get up in arms about it. And I was like, oh my goodness, how dare they? And then in that moment, the Holy Spirit kind of was asking me the question, how many people have you shared Jesus with this week? And I was like, okay, I gracefully withhold my comments on this, because if you're not making a deliberate effort and an intentional effort to reach people for the gospel, do not be so up in arms when people are continuing in their lost ways. If you feel passionate about people finding Jesus and changing,
what are you doing?
Do something about it. Go out in the world and preach the gospel and share the gospel like the Bible has commanded.
What we're trying to create here is open space. We're trying to create a place where, hey, we can talk honestly and openly about, hey, what's going on in our lives? What are some of the things we're dealing with? What does it mean to live a Christian life?
And let people into this space to find healing, to find restoration, to find redemption. We can explore those things with the Word of God. All right, man. So a lot has happened
in the last few weeks.
A recap of some sort in the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
Wait, is it a month already?
It hasn't been a month.
Trump got shot.
Yes, Trump got shot.
Kamala Harris becomes president running now. Joe Biden steps down.
Yes.
And
what's happening at the Olympics? What's going on?
It's just a hodgepodge of so many different things happening.
Yes.
And I think we should talk about it.
I think we should too.
I really think so. I think the people want to hear and know what our thoughts are about Trump getting shot.
Yes.
First of all, that's wild.
That is crazy.
Because I never thought I would live in.
Yeah, we've heard of presidents getting shot before.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, we've been alive that we've seen something like that.
The assassination attempt of a former president.
Yes.
I never really anticipated. It wasn't on my bingo card. Not even in the next decade, but we got to see it.
Yeah.
We got to see it right in front of our eyes. Remember where we were when this happened.
Oh, yeah. We just got done cliff jumping, and I had gotten a text from my friend Jacob. He's like, bro, Trump just got shot. And that's all he said. And in my head, I'm like, is he dead? That's what I'm thinking, okay, more,
are
please?
You going to give me more information?
And where we were at, we did not have good internet. Mm-hmm. So it was hard to look it up and figure out what was going on.
But also, kudos to you, because you didn't even mention it until we got in the car and we're driving back home.
I didn't. That's when I saw it.
Oh, okay.
I think I got in the car, looked at my phone, and saw him say that, and I'm like, bro.
Okay, because I thought you had already, he had told you, because it was a couple hours later. By the time we're talking about it, it had happened 2 or 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
And so I thought you had already known this, and you were just we were just cliff jumping away.
No, I couldn't jump. If I knew that, I couldn't keep jumping.
First of all, let me first apologize to my ancestors for doing cliff jumping, because what the heck?
To your ancestors.
I tell people all the time, when I'm talking to people about it, I was like, oh yeah, me and my friends went cliff jumping. I was like, Eric, what? What the heck? It's something that is totally unexpected of me and of Black people. So my people, I'm still with you, but I'm still a little bit adventurous.
That's good.
Yeah, but go on.
Yeah. You said the last time you weren't going to go cliff jumping again too.
Okay, here's why. No, here's why. Here's why. You leave out the most of the story, which makes this make sense.
Yeah.
The place we went, or we normally have gone in the past, it has this little. There is like these narrow edges that you have to walk through to get to the little cliffs, and it's literally a life or death situation.
Yeah.
But our buddy Ryan says that if there's no risk of death, then why do it anyway?
Takes all the fun out of it.
Totally. So I was like, I will never do this ever again in my entire life. Yeah. And then before I knew it, I was added to the group chat again. It's like cliff jumping again, and I was like, oh well, I mean. And then as you know, one of my buddies called me and was like, hey, you're going? I'm like, no, I wasn't planning on it. And he's like, dude, I'm going. You should go. And I'm like, the people pleaser in me was like, yes, I should.
I should. Adventure. Yeah.
And so here I was getting ready. And actually, you know what's funny is he ended up bailing out on the night before.
Man,
he was like, yes, he's such a loser. He was literally like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to make it, whatever. He made up some bullcrap excuse, and then I ended up Okay. I ended up cliff jumping.
Good.
Yeah, but so we're driving back,
and that's when we got the news.
And then you're like, yeah, dude, Trump just got shot.
And
it's like,
and I'm thinking, okay, he might be dead. Like,
yeah.
Like, and then you're looking up and you're like, oh, I don't think he got shot. I think there was maybe some shots at a rally or something.
Yeah.
And then we're looking up and then we see this picture of President Trump, the flag in
with
the back.
Flag in the back with his
fist.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Remember what I saw? What I told you the minute I saw that? I was like, this man just went down in history as a revolutionary of the 21st century.
He does not miss a moment.
Oh my goodness. He's so in tune with moments like those.
Yeah.
He's such, I don't know, like I don't even know what to call him, but like he's just made for the camera. Like he knows how to capitalize on like publicity stunts like those.
Yes.
And I watched the video because you were driving, and so I watched the video, kind of giving you all the rundown of the details while you're driving, and and I watched, and when I watched the video, and he puts he pushes his fist up, it tells them wait, and then he's like, fight. I'm like. I was like, oh my gosh, this dude. It was like watching a movie.
Yeah.
I was actually getting excited just watching it. And I'm like, I mean, I'm glad he didn't die.
Yeah, of course,
but like the whole thing for me just turned into a sort of a dramatic relief for me. It was like so exciting.
Okay, but the big question is, how does a sniper get that close when you got Secret Service?
Yeah.
How does it go when there's people in the crowd pointing this guy out?
Bro.
Hey, there's someone on the roof. There's someone on the roof with a gun, and no one's doing nothing.
I have no understanding of.
And he took his time getting on the roof and getting his position.
And it wasn't like even like he was like hidden away. Like it wasn't like he was in a far off building and he was using like magnifying. Like it wasn't like it was hard for him to be traced.
It's like the closest building you can be on to get a shot off.
This is the part where I'm like, I wish. Like, you know where they say that they have, like, those documents that they seal away, like, of government secrets, like, nobody ever even reads them. I'm like, this is when I really
Show
wish.
me the documents.
Show me, like, because I'm sure this has to have been... I'm not saying, like, the government did it, but I'm also not saying they didn't. Because I'm like... Yeah. Come on. It's the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Like, we know the presidents of the United States are, like, the most protected humans on earth.
There's no way you can make that many mistakes.
Exactly. Like so many things were wrong that it's like, how?
Yeah.
Like any curious mind would definitely be suspicious.
Yeah. And you heard that kid was in a BlackRock commercial too, didn't you?
You're just reeling this in.
Yeah. But
I mean, there's just a lot of things I don't know, but like, I think the whole thing is wild, though.
It is,
and the fact that you heard that the Secret Service, the head of the Secret Service resigned.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Because they
good.
grilled him. They grilled her in
Yeah.
Congress, asked her a bunch of questions, which she didn't have answers, and it's just like it doesn't make sense because like how
Yeah.
in this day and age too, like it would probably make sense if it happened like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But like with all the technology we have, with all of the things that are going on, because I'm sure they're listening to our conversations right now.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure they have ways of sieving through messages and any sort of intentions for anybody who's coming.
They're playing dumb right now. They're
Exactly.
acting like they don't know.
They're acting like they don't know, and yet it's clear that there has to have been some sort of awareness to it, and a very, very clear decision to be negligent about the whole thing. But he survives, and he's just out here doing the most.
Well, okay, and then that happens, and then a couple of days later, Biden drops out.
Out of what seemed like nowhere, because like he was like
I'm fit, I'm ready,
I'm awesome, I'm great, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And like bring it on, like Trump, say whatever you want to say.
And then after a failed assassin attempt, he's like, okay,
it's like okay, but well, Kamala.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what I imagined. He was like, okay, because I mean, it's just weird because he had done they had a whole debate. They had like it seemed like it was happening, right? Like they made us believe.
Well, it seemed like nobody could change Biden's mind.
Exactly.
Everyone in the Democrat Party was asking him to drop out, and he wouldn't.
Yeah. He was like, no, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm fit to run and whatever. Which begs the question: then, if he's not fit to run,
why is he fit now?
Is he fit to be president?
Yeah. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I'm not ready for the next term.
Maybe their understanding is he's just not fit to win the election. Like, I think maybe the Democratic Party.
But then that takes away from democracy because that's who people voted for. People voted for Biden, and now they're getting Kamala.
Hey you, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for tuning into the Open Space podcast. Now, you're probably like, why are you interrupting the video? But I have one small favor that I want you to help me with. So if you would love to support this work, go ahead and click that like button right now. This is really the way that you let other people know that, see, this is a video that is worth watching, and inviting other people to come and join this family. Also, of course, we want you to be part of our family. So go ahead and subscribe, and also click the notification bell so that you never miss an update from us. And so we're going to go back to the video, but please support, and thank you. It is kind of weird that all of a sudden the media was like, oh my gosh, Biden is such a hero.
For stepping down.
Exactly. It's like, you guys think we're in nursery school? Like,
he knew his capacity.
Exactly.
He dropped out at the right time.
He is such a, it kind of reminds me, remember when they had the debate, and then he got done with the debate, and everybody saw that it was a disaster. Yeah. And then his wife is like, you did such a great job, baby. You answered all the questions.
Talking to him like a little kid.
You are amazing, and America. I was like, Jill, butt up, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, I mean, sometimes I'm like, because I'm always like torn between the two parties. So like, I'm like, I don't have no dog in this race. But I'm like, sometimes to some extent, it gets comical. It's like, you guys really do think we are stupid.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to you about this earlier. It's like this whole thing is like, it's better than a movie. Like, I'm enjoying reality more than the escape of a movie right now.
You cannot script a better movie. Like, you cannot script a better movie.
20 years from now, they're going to make a movie about all this going on.
You know what? I don't even know. I am kind of curious to know what exactly is... Because we still have, 3 months?
Yeah.
3 months till November? Is it 2 months, 3 months?
Don't ask me dates. Something like that.
I mean, we are in July. So we still have August, September, October, and then November. So 3 months. 3 whole months. So a lot could happen.
Yes.
Like, just get your popcorn. Like, a lot could happen. Like, and for me, that is the part that I'm like, it's low-key interesting.
It is very interesting.
I'm like, I'm here for this.
Yeah,
but it's worrying too at the same time.
Can I bring this up?
Okay. What
You sent me a video earlier. Who are those guys? Who are those guys? What are their names?
I do not endorse the thoughts of this man.
That's all right. Hey, we're just adding. We're not saying one way or the other. We're just
Yeah. Okay. No, I totally.
Material.
Okay, but you're saying
who were they're the twins, right?
The Hodge twins.
Hodge twins. They posted.
They're conservative pundits, so like well.
But I watched this video and it's showing Biden before and then President Biden when he is deciding to drop out.
Yeah, address.
And he looks a lot taller.
He looks a lot taller. It is so. I don't know what to believe anymore on the internet anymore. Yeah. So like I'm like I take that with a grain of salt, but then I'm also like
I'm watching the video and it looks like he's got these long legs.
He either has like those he got like a leg extension surgery
within the last couple of weeks.
Remember when I told you about like how short I am and I told you like they have like these BBL surgeries that men have apparently been doing, where you go and they like basically will add a couple inches to your legs and then you become like a little bit taller, or well, not a little bit. Like you can actually be a lot bit taller.
Okay, but question. So let's say you get that surgery. You go on a date? Do you have to like let that person know, hey, I had the surgery. I'm not actually this
tall. Man. I'm pulling up 7 feet. I'm like,
you just rolling with it.
Yeah, I'm like, hey,
long legs, short torso.
That's the wild part, is because your arms still are very unproportional, like very non-proportional.
And then your waist too. Your waist doesn't get bigger, your torso doesn't get bigger. But
yeah, but I don't think you have. I mean, wait, okay. Do women?
They should.
Yes. They should. Okay.
If they do any type of plastic surgery,
they should tell you.
You gotta let the guy know.
Listen, actually,
that's false advertisement.
My lips are not real, and my boobs are not real.
Yeah,
it's like everything's okay. Oh, he just had plastic surgery. Yeah.
Nah.
I don't even know how we got to that. But no, on a serious note, it's kind of worrying because.
Do you think Biden was kicked out? Do you think he was pushed out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they had even before he announced that, like they had so many people that they had so many of the top Democrats like basically call for his stepping down.
But even before that, I find it so interesting that it was a couple days after the assassination attempt failed that he stepped down. And did you hear the reports that this was the first time CNN was actually broadcasting Trump's rally live?
Yeah.
That was the first time? The same time
really?
The assassination attempt happened?
Wait, I don't believe
you didn't hear that? I would have to fact check. I have to go back and look, but I've been hearing that from multiple sources.
That's crazy, though, if that's true.
It is.
Because then, so you think CNN was in on it?
I think, okay, well, there was also big investments made.
The plot thickens.
Big investments made against Trump's, his social network, Truth Social, against his stock. Bets made against his stock, like a few days coming up before the... you didn't hear any of this?
No. What kind of internet world are you living in?
Oh, I just stay connected, man. Yeah, you gotta...
What?
Yeah.
That they had...
I mean, I could look it up. I have it on my phone.
Hold on. They had they were betting against it. That were they short selling it or something?
Oh, yeah. It's I'd have to look it up. But yeah,
that makes it even wilder but why would they? Because I feel like it would probably lead to the opposite effect, wouldn't it?
If President Trump had died, then that's the whole backing for this company. He is the voice. Truth Social, the reason it has the stage that it has, the presence it has, is because Trump has such a big following. And people who back Trump are like, I want to be on Truth Social. So if he's out of it, then all of a sudden, the company might not be worth anything.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But I also feel like people would flood to it just to get details of it.
So here's what it says. Investment firm that allegedly put options on 12 million Trump stocks day before assassination attempt blames filing error. I mean, you can...
Oh, crap.
No, that's, I mean, obviously...
I don't know, man. That sounds so sketchy.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't know. I might have to go do a whole research on this.
There's a lot that has to be researched around this whole thing, and people are already ready to move on. They're already ready to forget this whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy.
That's typical. Because that's the other thing that I was thinking, because initially when this whole thing happened, everybody couldn't stop talking about it. I mean, every news network was covering it, rightfully so. But it's so fascinating that they almost overnight died out.
Yeah.
And they just stopped talking about it. And now they shifted their attention to, Biden's dropping out.
Yeah.
Now
maybe he really did drop out.
I am not going there with you.
Okay.
I'm not
we won't go there. We won't go there. No.
We will revisit this conversation.
Yeah. Down the road.
Okay. So now, fast forward to
just a few days
ago, the Olympics.
Open.
First of all, are you excited about the Olympics? Do
No.
you ever watch the Olympics? Because honestly,
okay. Growing up, I did. I loved watching the Olympics growing up. Now they start bringing all these weird political different themes going on. Satanic rituals, maybe.
Well,
you start bringing that stuff. It takes away from it. So I didn't actually watch the ceremony, but I've heard people talk about drag queens being in there and mocking the Last Supper.
Yeah, like the Christian Last Supper. For those people that don't know, it's like we have a painting in here actually that a little bit depicts it, but it's the dinner that Jesus had with his disciples and got to have communion with them before he.
And they're mocking it and bringing in drag queens to an event that is focused on people showing their athletic abilities.
Yeah.
Extraordinary athletic abilities. Like what does drag queens have anything to do with what we're about to get into?
Okay, so here's my I don't know, it's a bit of a. First of all, I never watched the Olympics. This is probably going to be the first time, because I actually did watch the opening ceremony, and it's so weird to me because I never even caught that scene. I mean, it's partly because I was very distracted when I was watching it. I was kind of in the background while I was doing whatever I was doing, but I didn't really catch it. But once people kind of started making rounds and got viral and everyone was commenting on it, I went back and saw it and whatever. And I was like, okay, well, because I honestly, I'm not shocked anymore when stuff like that happens on events like those, because we see it even in the Super Bowl. We see it, we don't. Yeah. So it's not like it's not just like an American thing. I think it's just broadly on every.
They're trying to normalize it.
Exactly. So I think it's gotten to a point where for me, I'm not shocked anymore that they include stuff like that. I think a lot of people were frustrated thinking that it was trying to mock the Last Supper.
Okay. So what's your perspective?
But from what I've heard, I read this article that said that it wasn't really trying to mock the Last Supper. Like they were depicting a painting. There is apparently a painting
on the Last Supper.
No. Hear me out. They're depicting. There is a painting that depicts like a festival of gods in France. So it is still ritualistic. They're still celebrating a pagan ritual of festivities and whatever. But it's historically within French history. It's something that they've always done to honor like the different gods that they had. Yeah. And so somebody shared a shot, and I'll probably put it up. Somebody shared a picture of the actual original painting and the the scene, the way they set it up at the Olympics, and it's very, very much the same thing. And so, of course, for Christians, it was triggering because for them, the minute they saw that with the table and whatever, they thought, oh, this is the Last Supper.
Yeah.
But I don't think like that's what they were. Like, I don't think
you don't think that's what they were going for.
I don't think that's what they were going for.
Okay.
Now, I still don't agree with
having drag queens,
all of that stuff in there because I don't subscribe to that. But like, I still think that some Christians overreacted a little bit about it in terms of like, oh my gosh, you're trying to like, I think I felt the same way the first time I saw it. But I mean, when I read a little bit more about it, I was like, oh, okay, well, we should not be surprised when ungodly people do ungodly
things.
Yeah, so
we're living in a fallen
exactly,
world right
and
now.
I'm like, it should not be that angering, and that yes, of course, darkness and immorality is, as Christians, it's repulsive to us, right?
Yeah,
but reacting in such a way that just to kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm boycotting the Olympics. I saw a lot of people say that. It's like, I'm boycotting the Olympics. I was like, I don't know about that, but
and I mean, to back that, like, we're living closer and closer to the end times.
That's very true.
And we're gonna see more and more of this stuff.
It's gonna keep happening. It doesn't mean that we should just like
accept it. But yeah, it's just don't be surprised, I guess.
Yeah, don't like, do not be so alarmed as if to like, for example, it would be like a person, a secular person looking at a church person do what a church person is supposed to do and being like, wait, like, it's the same feeling that I get when people are like, why are church people, like, why are Christians against gay marriage? Because by the very definition of being a Christian, you're subscribing to a set of beliefs. So at the end of the day, I am a Christian, so I follow what Christ teaches. And so it shouldn't be shocking to you that I agree with some things and I don't agree with other things.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be shocking to me that you decide to live your life that way, even though I might not agree with it.
Yeah, and so in some ways we need to prepare ourselves because ultimately we are called to love everybody. And so we're going to see some radical things, crazy things, especially over the last 15, 20 years. There's been a lot of changes. And the end goal is like, hey, we still want to love these people.
Where I find the hypocrisy too is the fact that there's a lot of Christians that got so outraged with this. Yeah. And yet they're the same Christians that never really go out to evangelize or share the gospel with people. And I was about to, like, when I first saw the post, I was about to get up in arms about it. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, how dare they? And then in that moment, the Holy Spirit kind of, I felt like God was asking me the question, how many people have you shared Jesus with this week? And I was like, okay, I gracefully withhold my comments on this, because if you're not making a deliberate effort and an intentional effort to reach people for the gospel, do not be so up in arms when people are continuing in their lost ways. Like, so if you feel passionate about people finding Jesus and changing,
what are you doing?
Do something about it. Go out in the world and preach the gospel and share the gospel like the Bible has commanded.
All right, but time to fly over to the Olympics and
exactly. If you are not, I think you don't have a right to be outraged at people doing ungodly things if you, a godly person, is not doing whatever you can to reach those people.
Yeah, because in the end, they're lost people.
Exactly.
I think that's the right view. I think
that's that's that on that.
Yeah.
So, what else do you want to talk about? Because we about to get canceled on this one.
Oh yeah. Well, but I know this episode's probably a little bit different than you're used to. A little bit more
a little over the place, but
political and getting into some touchy topics. But we had to talk about it. There's just too much crazy going on right now. But we want to hear, what are your thoughts going on?
Like, what do you think?
What questions do you have? What conspiracy theories?
Share your conspiracy.
Share them
in the comments.
But we just want to thank you for joining us. Thank you, for watching, and continue to like, share, subscribe, and add some comments.
Yeah, but for now, Eric and Jed,
we're out.